So once again, good morning all. We'll be starting today's session, and we are not going for any new topic today. We'll be going with a very common topic, which is called as arrays, and along with that, how arrays are utilizing the facilities of functions, and also little bit of pointers. So it will be something like a repetition, but at the same time, we'll be making your basics or fundamentals more clear. What I will do is that I will be going ahead and sharing the today's screen so that you can understand what we are going to cover. And we'll be considering the full screen view so that you can understand. So this is the topic of the day, playing with array and functions. Now basically what happens is that we don't think some specific topics in a way they are supposed to be taught. And many a time we see that uh, in case of interview process or certain tricky questions, even the simplest question we get stuck up and try to give a tough solution. This session will be helping you to see some 3 to 4 examples where arrays will be used along with the functions and also pointers, and will make our fundamentals clear. So we'll have a first or quick go through along with the definition of an array. The first data structure we come through across in C language is the first data structure, because the data is being stored in a structured fashion. Collection of similar data types. In the example, you can already see that there is a collection of characters and they are in a continuous memory location. We can make array of integers, array of floats, array of characters, which is also called a string. So the figure which is there in the right side is shown as a string or array of characters. And as we have already mentioned, they are in a contiguous memory location. So you can see that in case of character, it will be taking 1 byte, and in case of integer and float, it will be taking 4 bytes and a continuous memory location. We also will have a quick review on functions. Part of the whole code we create in a programming language like C. And most important, the students who have joined little late today, please see that you make your all doubts clear about function and array and how they are interrelated. And if you have any earlier gap due to some any reason, either you have missed any class or could not concentrate much, see that after today's session, your doubts get clear basically on arrays and functions. Though this session is not basically to define the basics of arrays, like how to declare an array, what way to provide the values or index values. This is not the scope of this discussion. Better little bit ahead, that if you have an array, how you can utilize it along with a couple of functions. Coming back to the functions, collection of statements or code to do a specific task or tasks. Functions are of two types, as we are already aware: predefined functions, you know the examples, and user-defined functions. So basically today we will be concentrating on the user-defined functions and arrays. So we'll be directly moving into the program or example, and we'll try to see that how to pass an array to a function and how the function is going to handle it, how to write the function definition, how to create a function prototype, and we will also see the result. So the idea is that there will be a function called create array, and create array is going to take the size of the array from the main, and then inside the create array we are going to define our own array. So little bit in change, and that is the kind of thing basically you are asked. The right side of the code, which is in red color, most of the time you are supposed to ask to write in the interview panel. They will not ask you to write the whole question itself. So the snippets or the function definition is most important. We see the code once again in a thorough investigation. At the beginning, in red color, there is a void create array, and it's pretty clear that we are passing an integer type parameter, or the argument is integer, and the type of the function is void, which is not going to return anything, and it's a function prototype. Out of 150 people we have seen cannot give a proper definition of function prototype and why it is required. So if anyone sitting to the today's session, there is a doubt regarding function prototype, please make it very clear. This is prototyping of the function, where we see that, tell that, dear compiler, you are going to see this function which you have not seen earlier. I'm going to use it. Its name is create array. It is a type of void. That means it will not return anything, and it is going to take an argument which is the type of integer. So that is the meaning of the first red line. We come into the deep inside the main, and we see that through printf and scanf, you are taking the size by the user of the array. And let us consider we have given a value of 4, and then there is a function call. So function main is calling create array function. So called function is create array, calling function is main, function prototype is mentioned, and as you know what is going to happen in the fourth level. The fourth level, it is the function definition. So in case of function definition, you can see that we have come to the create array define, and I am, for the first time, because it's a create array, I am going to create the array here. So in create array function, we have taken a my array with the help of the size which has been passed as in parameter or argument. And we are also taking a for loop which is going to initialize starting from 0th index to the size. So if your size you are passing 4, then 0 to 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that it is going to consider. So 4 elements, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 elements are going to be taken. Then you scan the values with the help of address of my array. So my array is 0th location or 0th index, first index, second index, third index. And finally you print the values just for a proper output. As you know, with 4 spaces, %4d, we are going to print my array. From my array, we are going to, please see that you are able to understand that why 1 is less, because it is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Out of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, we are going to consider 4 elements, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 elements, 5 elements, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Your elements are going to be printed. So that is the first program. And again, I am telling, sometimes, yes, for the best programmer also, with some little bit of tension, or sometimes with overconfidence, and sometimes lack of confidence or not knowing the topic, the simplest of the questions are dropped by the students or given a complex solution in the interview panel. So if the interviewer is directly asking you, or any question in the exam, that how to create an array using a function, this can be one of the easiest and simple solution. Moving ahead, we see little bit more complexity, and as we told, we are playing with the functions and array. To see that, we are going to add one more function, and this function is going to do the summation of all the elements. Let me describe this task step by step for you. So we have seen main is calling a function named create array. Create array has created an array of integers with number of integers equal to size. So in our next code, we will add one more function named sum. So it's a predefined function. Sum will be called by create array, and the array with size will be passed to sum, and sum will do the sum of the elements. Why such kind of statements are given? As I told, in many cases, in even a simple task will be given with 8 to 9 or 10 statement. In case of taking an online test for some job or placement, Even a simple task will be described with 8, 9, 10 lines, just to see that whether you have patience to understand what has been told in the problem, and are you going to give a simple solution. Because many people, it is found, as a nature of human, they don't read the full question, and without understanding, with half understanding, they start working and give a complex solution. So it's our duty, if such statements are given, hence actually it's a single proof, I can write it in a 2 to 3 lines, but I've taken a industrial perspective that how the problems will be given to you. Normally we don't ask such questions in case of university exams. So moving forward and see the code. As usual, if you can see, we have the additional red line added as a function prototype along with the previous function prototype, which was void create array, now void sum. And if you see, without going deep into the code, in case of void sum, the name of the function is sum. It is the type of void. It is going to have two arguments. One is a pointer integer, another is an integer variable. So that is pretty clear. And as I already told, the people who are now making the concepts clear in case of functions, function prototype, calling function and call function with such small problems, please make all your doubts clear so that you can do bigger problems. We go deep into the code, and there is not much change in the main of the previous code. I will have a quick review for you. See the previous code of the left side. 1, 2, 3, 4 lines starting from integer size to create array. There are 4 lines. Going back to the present code, 1, 2, 3, 4 lines are there. So there is not much difference here. And again, in the right side code also, there is not much different. Only the red line is a difference there. So once again, please have a look in the right side of the code now. Create array. Only the last of the code, we are going to add this line, which is called sum. Now, what is the understanding here? Basically, I am passing an array along with its size. Earlier cases, the passing was only an integer. If you see, in case of create array, you are just passing the size. In case of the second one, that means when create array is the calling function and sum is the called function. In case of this example, you are passing two things, the array also and the size also. So as you are passing the array by the name of the array, that makes our concept again clear. We are passing the base address of the array along with its size. So these two red line is a change in my previous code, which I need to understand. And then we'll see basically the function definition, which is sum, and we need to define taking the array and the size. So let's go to the next code. Before that, a quick review of what we learned. In case of sum, my array size, when we pass an entire array to a function, we can just pass the base address of the array, means the name only, along with the array size. And while we create function prototype, we need to handle the passed address of the array with the help of a pointer. So I kept the function definition statement of the sum as well as the function prototype, how need to be represented. After today's session, no one should have a doubt on this. We'll go back to the code. So you are here and we are supposed to define the sum function. So let us go to the sum function, and that is in my right side in blue color, and in the left side already you have seen that create array is calling a function by the name of sum, and we are passing the array address. My array name is my array and the size, and we see the blue color code, which is a function definition of sum. In case of sum function definition, we are supposed to take an integer pointer because you are passing an address of an integer along with the integer for size, and we are going to take care of the total. So we have taken a total is 0, and we are going to add the elements from 0th index to size index less 1. So 0, 1, 2, 3 if it is 4 as size, and 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 it is size is 5. So in this example which is shown on your screen, it is 5. So total is equal to total plus 0 plus value at address of array. And these are the small mistakes students do during interview. Value at address at array. You're not going to write array of 0, array of 1, array of 2 like that here. It is value at address at. So value at address array and then array plus plus. So automatically it will be taking care of moving the pointer to the next element. So there are two incremental variables running. One is I plus plus to take care of the for loop. Another is array plus plus, which is a pointer increment to pointing to the next element of our array. Finally, we are going to print it with the help of sum of all this many elements equal to this. Sum of 5 elements are this. So size and total. So this is the code where passing an array to a function, and this time we are one step ahead. In the first program we have seen, we have just passed the size and we have created an array in another function, and here not only have created a array in another function, we have also taken care that we are passing the address of an array and how to handle it. So the 3 to 4 concepts by the two programs supposed to be clear to all of you. One is that user defined functions. Second, array, how to create an array with the help of user defined function, how to pass an address of an array and accept it with the help of a pointer, and for both the cases how to create the function prototypes. Let's move ahead, and if you have any doubt you can put in the chat box. This will be the last program for the day where we'll see a bubble sort using array and function. Again, I am saying the basics of bubble sort is not the discussion or not the scope of this discussion. Rather, we'll be discussing the major part of it, which is how to use the array and function when a problem or famous problem like bubble sort is given to you. And there will be a little bit twist in reference with the earlier programs, what you have done, the earlier two programs. Here, not only just array, function, pointer is going to be utilized. Here the additional idea or thought, we'll see a function pointer where function is going to return some value with the help of pointer, and we are going to receive it. So starting from the beginning of the code, if you see, there is a function prototype which is little bit tricky compared to the other two examples that we have seen. So this function prototype says that it's going to return basically an address which is going to be, so function pointer, you are considering the bubble sort as a function which is a function pointer because it is going to return a value for the first time. And once we see the example, we will see what kind of value it is returned. And we also see that in case of the parameter, how it is explained that it is going to take an array inside as a parameter and how it is going to handle it with the help of an integer expression. So let us move and see that what are the things we are passing. We have declared an array as a local declaration with some specific values, integer type array, and we are taking a integer pointer. This integer pointer is going to receive something as a return value. So pointer can only take an address of something. Very interesting. In one side, if you write only ARR, which is the name of the array is ARR, If you are passing ERR, you are passing the address. So understand this part. You are passing an address. Interestingly, this one is going to return something on this pointer, and a pointer can take only an address. So pass an address, receive an address is an interesting concept which has been explained in this example. Here it is very clear. Now printing the sorted elements. How we are going to print the sorted elements? Because once you are passing the address of an array, it was unsorted. See, the elements is not sorted, and we are going to apply bubble sort on it. Interestingly, once you are passing back the address of bubble sort, that means the bubble sort is going to return an address of an array. It will be a sorted array. Only after that, this printing is going to come to the picture. Anyone who has a doubt till date, please make it very clear. The code is not going to jump in here. The code is going to jump to the function definition. Then it will come back here. So we are after this this semicolon, we are not coming here. After this I semicolon, we are going to the next part of the code. And from there, we will come back what it is returning and what is happening. So if you see, in this case, we have this bubble sort definition, and we are passing an array address. And interestingly, this is the way how we can also define an pointer. Because you have passed an array pointer also can be discussed in this way. And we mentioned through this that integer a with a symbol, array a points to an array or the name which is called as already array. That is where it is going to basically point. And through this, we are going to iterate through the whole code to take care of each and every element of this. So as I told, the discussion of this algorithm is not a scope of this talk or class today, because bubble sort and algorithm will be discussing later. Now, what we can do is that basically see the return here, and normally return can return a single value, but here we are returning the entire array. It is the same way we pass the entire array to the function. So we are returning the value, and as I told, we'll see that in the going back to the previous slide, that now here, once you are returning the address, we are accepting it with the help of a pointer p. So what is p getting? P has received the address of a sorted array. Address of a sorted array is in the hand of p. With this pointer, now we are going to take care of the printed elements. We are going to print the elements, and for that reason, you can see that we are going to utilize again the value at address operator. So my first value at address operator, and at 0th location, so p plus 0, that means the first location, first address location, second address location, third address location, we are going to access the elements. So this example is one of the best example that where you are doing a bubble sort. And remember, as I told you already, that if in an interview panel, when sometimes a simple problem we are going to write, and this is the time to show your expertise. So rather than just write a code like a basic learners, because you will be facing the interviews at 4th year level or maybe in a higher level also, if through a code you can explain the concept of even function, the concept of pointer, and concept of function pointer, all these things you can explain in a single solution, you will understand the level of your understanding, whether just main and writing the code in a what you can call everything. So if you have been asked and given a choice, then please see that a bubble sort may be written in 10 to 15 ways, as I always say, and the most what you can call technically correct way we need to choose. The same way, in higher level, you can also create a bubble sort, what you can call application with the help of linked list. So that was the idea of today's discussion, where we have seen that what are the different ways that we can pass some parameter. There was a single parameter which has been passed to a function which was an integer, and in the later stage we have seen we have also passed the size of an array and also the address of an array. There was no return. In the third example, we have also seen that how a function is going to return the whole array, because basically a function can return a single value. Then always in interviews, say important question that how a function can return a whole array to the called function. So this is the best way, using the pointer function and just returning the address of the sorted array. As you have seen in our example, we can do a good justice with the question. So that is the discussion of today. You need to start playing with such kind of code. Whatever the basic codes are there with you, please start applying different kind of concepts. That means in case of something like our subject like PPS1, already you might have been done, many people without function also bubble sort, you just can write normal way using some 2 for loops. But taking it to the next level, see the differences. Bubble sort using a function without passing any parameter and without returning any value, that might be a question. Bubble sort with passing parameters can be a question. And finally, bubble sort with the help of again passing parameters and also returning the whole array with the help of a pointer can be a good question. And at the higher level, bubble sort using functions and linked list concept is going to be a major understanding of this technique. So that's how where I will be stopping in today's session. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Thank you all for joining this.